Hello and welcome to Grief Seeds, a podcast where you'll find insights, reframings, metaphors, and visualizations, all known as grief seeds, to help you cultivate growth and healing in your life after loss. My name is Shelby Forsythia. I'm an intuitive grief guide and author, and on this show, I'll share insights from my interactions with clients, wise words from fellow grievers, and personal stories from my own life, with the hope that they transform your grief as they have transformed mine. Because even when it doesn't feel like it, we are planting the seeds of growth in the midst of great pain and heartache. Your grief is welcome here. Hi there, grief growers, and welcome to another episode of Grief Seeds. I am so thankful to be here with you today. This episode is a gift for those who are grieving, but it also might be more suited to those who are accompanying grievers or to the friends of grievers. So if you have a friend or a family member who is helping you grieve or is a witness to your grief process, this might be an episode that's suitable for them. This is something that I like to call the bowl visualization, and this is something I started using when I was working with clients over 4 years ago now, and have shared with them as a tool to hold space for other people who are grieving as they're grieving, people they are companioning in loss, and if you're a grieving person yourself, this is actually a tool that you can use to hold space for yourself as you are grieving. And so it's a tool to emotionally validate yourself without making yourself feel additionally heavy or additionally weighed down. And if you're a person who's supporting grieving people, this is essentially how to hold space for others who are grieving without taking on their pain, without carrying their heartache yourself, which is something that a lot of grieving people and a lot of just humans in general face on a pretty regular basis, whether you're a highly sensitive person or an empathic person, or you just have a lot of feelings. So many of us are trained by family members, by friends, by society, especially people who are marginalized and especially people who are raised as women. In westernized society, we are taught and trained to carry the pain of others, and that is what love looks like. So this is a way to hold space for the fact that pain exists without also absorbing it and having it become something that we now need to heal from. So, if you'd like to come to a space that feels safe for you, this can be a meditative posture, so seated on the floor or seated in a chair with your feet touching the floor, or even lying down. I'm a lying down meditator. And you can place your hands anywhere that feels good to you, so they can rest in your lap, they can kind of maintain the space over your heart. And if you're feeling especially open or ready to receive, a posture that I've been using lately is to actually put your hands behind your head at the base of your neck as if you are being cradled. And what this does is open up the entirety of your chest and your heart. So your arms are raised above your head, bent at the elbows, with your hands behind your head at the base of your neck, as if you're reclining in a pool chair beside a pool. So there's a lot of options to get safe or feel comfortable absorbing this visualization. And if it feels safe for you to do so, I invite you to close your eyes with me here. If it does not feel safe to close your eyes, or you have something like vertigo that makes it dizzy when you do, absolutely feel free to gaze at something you love to look at in the room. This can be a photograph or out the window or a fire or a candle or something that feels peaceful and grounding to keep your gaze fixed on. And whenever you're ready, you can take a deep breath in with me here. And out. The next few minutes will contain a visualization for helping you honor, witness, stand by as someone else is expressing their pain without you feeling as if you also have to carry it with them. Witnessing pain without the weight, how to hold space for someone who is grieving, even if that person is you, without taking on the pain as your own. So imagine the person who is grieving seated across from you. If they're seated across from you in real life, all the better. If you are the person who's grieving, see your grieving self sitting across from you. In the space between you, picture a large bowl rising up from the ground. This bowl can be made of any material: aluminum, glass, tin, clay, ceramic. A huge, wide, deep bowl rising up from the earth and hovering in the space between you and the person who's grieving. As you listen to this person who's grieving, as they express their pain, their worries, their uncertainty, their agony, as they tell stories that you've heard before, as they share memories that break their heart and yours. Imagine all of those experiences, all these pieces of information falling into the bowl, into the space between you. You can see them, you can look at them, you can listen to them, you can even reach your hands into the bowl and pick them up, turn them over, sort them out, try to make sense of them. You can pick them up and hold them close to your heart if you wish, as you're interacting with this grieving person. And then always, always return these stories, these feelings, these emotions, these memories, these pains back to the bowl in the space between you. If the bowl starts to overflow, if you are feeling at max capacity in witnessing to someone else's pain, feel free to take a step back, literally or metaphorically, and expand the bowl. Watch this ceramic, this tin, this aluminum, this glass grow and stretch. The container becomes wider and deeper to hold all of the grief, all of the pain that is present here. This container is sturdy. This container is reliable. This container is always available and always at your disposal. When your interaction with your grieving person ends, or if you're doing this with yourself, if you are done wrestling with your grief for the time being, take a deep breath. And watch as the bowl and all of the grief that goes with it, all of the stories, the memories, the pain that is contained inside of it, sinks into the ground, into the earth, and the earth drinks it up like rainwater. All of this pain, all of these stories, all of this heartache and loss and grief and agony becomes liquid and dissolves and is soaked in to the ground that you're walking on. This bowl did not crash onto you, dumping pain, loss, heartache into your lap. This bowl did not slip into your grieving person's lap for them to carry, as they are already carrying enough. The grace of this bowl, the mercy of this visualization, is that all of the pain, the heartache, the suffering, the problems, the uncertainty, the lack of resolution is absorbed and carried and held by the earth that both of you are standing on. If you believe in something greater than yourself, this is an opportunity to release it to that energy, whether it's God, the universe, spirit, whatever speaks to you. And if you don't believe in any kind of higher power, that's okay as well. Trust and know that this grief and pain is not yours to carry, nor your grieving person's. They already are carrying enough. But it is carried and cared about by the earth, by the dirt, by the ground that both of you share and walk on. Take however much time you need to watch this bowl sink away. If you're feeling remnants of the conversation with you, if you're feeling pain or grief or a need to fix what has happened latching on to you like a leech, feel free to perform some brushing motions, maybe brushing off your arms, brushing off your legs, brushing off your heart, and allowing these remnants to fall into the bowl that is sinking into the ground. They do not belong to you. You are free to release them. And just because you are releasing them does not mean you do not care. You are allowed to be invested in someone's well-being without also carrying their pain. It is possible. And whenever you're ready, take a deep breath in here and out. Well done. So that's all for this episode of Grief Seeds. Thank you so much for listening today. You can find additional grief support at shelbyforsythia.com or by following me on social media at shelbyforsythia on Facebook and Instagram. If this podcast helped you in your life after loss, please leave a review and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen. And be sure to share Grief Seeds with a friend, because you never know what someone you love is going through. A huge thank you to my Patreon supporters for financially keeping this podcast on the air. If you'd like to support Grief Seeds on Patreon through a yearly or monthly pledge, you can do so at patreon.com/shelbyforsythia. My Patreon supporters get access to behind-the-scenes content, including a once-a-month grief support call with me and 5 90-minute workshops with topics decided by grievers themselves. Again, that website is patreon.com/shelbyforsythia. Music for Grief Seeds is performed by Addie Goldstein. As always, my dear grief growers, it was beautiful sharing this space and time with you today. I see you. I am so proud of you and the work that you're doing in the world. And I love you. Because even through grief, we are growing.